Well, hello, beautiful, gorgeous ladies. Happy Monday and it's month end. Shut the front door. So I wanted to come to you. I'm doing a recording because it is Memorial Day. And so some of you, out of respect of any plans that you may have or being with friends or family, I wanted to do this just to be respectful of that so that you can watch this back at your convenience. And would love to hear your feedback. So feel free to comment below or provide feedback to your directors, um, just in general, kind of your takeaways from this. So this is about adding team members. And so several components I wanted to provide to you tonight. First off, kind of explaining the importance of adding team members, whether you're wanting to move up in the company or not, please know the expectation is not for you all to become sales directors, although every single one of you are fully capable of being a sales director. But I'll explain the importance of why it really is important to add team members and share the opportunity, right? Number two, some different ideas of how to add team members and just some different ways you can do the marketing. And number three, how to really utilize your sales director if you're not a sales director yourself. Okay, so the first part I wanted to touch upon is why it is so important to add team members. Okay, whether you want to be a sales director or not, if you're not sharing the opportunity, I really feel like you're cheating others of this opportunity because a lot of people don't know how this opportunity works. And that's really where the importance comes in of sharing the opportunity. I think just to educate others, because man, if I had a dollar for every time someone told me, oh, I thought it was a pyramid scheme, right? I've heard that so many times. Oh, you guys are in a pyramid scheme. So really people just understanding what Mary Kay is about. And secondly, you don't know who needs this sort of opportunity in their lives. You know, maybe someone's looking for a discount. That's how I started, you guys. And a lot of people you talk to, that's how they started. They just wanted a really good discount on their skincare and makeup. Some people start because they want a side hustle, right? That's how I grew into this business from it just being a discount was I saw the potential in making a couple extra $100 a month and not having to invest in a lot of time. And I think COVID really opened that door for a lot of people too, to realize that it's really nice to have a side hustle because there are no guarantees, right? Corporate jobs are not guaranteed. No job is a guarantee. I mean, but Mary Kay, we've been around for 58 years and we're debt free. And the fact that we really flourished through COVID just shows further the strength of this company. Someone personally, for myself, you know, I worked in a corporate job for over 12 years. And during that time, I was laid off 3 different times. So just know that there is no guarantees, right? And so it's nice to have a backup plan. It's nice to have a side hustle, not only for that reason, but so many of us have debts that we're trying to pay off or maybe save up for. So maybe you're trying to save up for a house or a wedding or a car or your children's college tuition. Like there's so many different ways that this business can help pay for those extra things that maybe your regular job doesn't pay for. Or at number three, maybe there is someone out there looking just for a change, you guys. I've had a couple consultants that have joined that are like, Crystal, I really am not happy at my corporate job. I would love to find a way for this to supplement my regular job so that eventually I can either not work my corporate job so much or can look into quitting completely and just doing Mary Kay full time. So again, I think that's what I love with Mary Kay too. There's no set person, right? We have so many different personalities, so many people with different backgrounds in this company that it's just a beautiful thing. You know, I have consultants that are grandmothers. I have consultants that are fresh out of high school. I have consultants that are moms of 7, 8 children. I have consultants that are pregnant. I have consultants that don't have any children. You know, consultants that are married, not married. So we have people of different walks of lives, and I think that's why I even love Mary Kay even more because it it really is meant to sprinkle in wherever you can fit this into your life. It's not meant to overwhelm it. It's not meant to consume your life. It's meant to fit in as a puzzle piece so that the puzzle is completed. And I really truly believe that. So when you are doing a virtual pampering session or an in-home, it pretty much is going to look the same in terms of marketing. And I really think there's some really important parts of marketing that need to be met. That way you're fully explaining everything. So check with your sales director, but there's a really fun game called Mrs. Cab, and Mrs. Cab is also referred to as the purse game. So you go over the main things that you want to touch upon in Mary Kay when you're talking about the Mary Kay opportunity. So money, how we make money in Mary Kay, right? So the purse game essentially is where you tell your guest, hey, who has a purse with you? And most people will. And virtually it's going to be done a little bit different, right? Because they're home. So you might want to tell them, hey, if you have a purse, grab it, or whatever room you're in, kind of look around and see if there's an object. So I'm going to talk about this amazing opportunity because you might have some questions. And I'm going to say a letter, and you're going to look around your room or look in your purse. And the first thing you see that matches that letter, I want you to pull it out, right? So M, we talk about money, right? So you say, okay, the first thing I talk about starts with an M. Okay, who has something in their purse or around the room? And someone might have money on them and they pull it out. So if they have that object like money, then you'd be like, okay, cool. That's actually the first thing I'm gonna talk about is money, how we make money in Mary Kay. And you touch upon that. And there's different flyers. So again, check with your sales director. I will even look through my resources. Any of you watching this that's a sales director, if you have those resources readily available, feel free to post it after this video to help everyone out. But I've seen a flyer about Mrs. Cab. I know there's one about the purse game. I've pretty much been doing the same thing in my marketing for three plus years now. And I'm going to say this, I think sometimes we get complacent in our lives. And I mean that in all facets of your lives, whether it's you come up with a goal and say, okay, I want to lose weight, or I want to start this new routine of waking up early and doing this and this. And we do good for a while, and then we get complacent, right? Because we're not seeing results quick enough. So we say, okay, it's not working, and we want to switch it up. I haven't switched mine up in 3+ years. Now, certain parts of your marketing where you're talking about yourself, of course, we're going to evolve, our lives change. And so we adjust to the times, right? We adjust to different things happening in our lives, right? But the overall way we do our marketing, if it's working for you, don't change it. I say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And so basically how I do my marketing, and again, it's going to be whatever you're comfortable with. If you're new in your business, you're like, you know what, I kind of like the purse game, or I like doing the Mrs. Cab, which is just an acronym of the different things to go over in Mary Kay. When you're talking about the Mary Kay opportunity, again, it's really how you want to do it. So marketing, I always feel, should be done at the end because you're getting to know your guest. You can sprinkle it in the beginning, and I do, but it's not so much like, okay, here's how you start. You have this option, you have this option. No. So the way I sprinkle it in the beginning is when I'm doing my 90-second commercial about myself. So when I get to my party, either in home or virtual, I say, all right, so this is what to expect from me today, right? It's just like when you're doing a meeting or presentation, right? You usually have an agenda. So that's kind of what you're doing, right? You're like, okay, here's the agenda for today. I'm going to give you a quick snapshot of who I am. And then I'm going to give you a little background about our Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation. I'm going to continue to walk you through the skincare today. Please hear my heart. There's no obligation to purchase anything. I'll go over some exclusive deals and discounts at the very end. If you happen to love something, you take it home for a really great price today. And then at the very end, we'll do one-on-one individual consultations. That way I see if you have any additional questions, and I have a little goodie bag for you to take home as a thank you for being here, right? Again, however you do your parties, or however your director has instructed you to do parties, check with them, but that's typically the norm for most people, okay? So then what you're gonna do is when you give your 90-second commercial, it's really giving a quick insight into who you are. And so that's really where you can talk about Mary Kay, right? You can talk a little bit about if you're married, if you have children, but give them a quick background. Here's when I started Mary Kay. Here's what it's done for me. And here are my goals in Mary Kay. And that's really what I talk about. I talk about, I think it's really important to make it personable. So something for me that I love sharing with women is I'm not girly girl. I'm not, and I embrace that because there's this misconception. I feel like, number one, we're a women-owned business, right? Mary Kay started it. And it's primarily women who sell Mary Kay. We do have men that sell it, but let's just be real, it's primarily women. And so there's this misconception that I have to be girly girl, and I'm far, far from being what is considered girly girl. Okay. As a child, I loved getting dirty, would always come home with scraped up knees because I'd do tricks on my bike and wouldn't listen to my mom and dad. They'd be bleeding. I am now, I think, at 14 or 15 tattoos. I plan on getting more. I took car mechanics in high school and college. Some of you may or may not know, I just recently bought my first Harley Davidson. So I am not your typical girly girl, and that is okay. If you are someone who's girly girl, then share that. I've had a love or passion about skincare and makeup for X amount of years. So when this opportunity presented itself, I jumped on the chance. How did you start your Mary Kay business? Because the story that you tell, you guys, each one of us, it's unique. For me, I wasn't getting any younger. My good friend sold it. She convinced me to try it. I was like, oh, dang, I love the way my skin feels. And she was like, well, you should just start. You get 50% off. I'm a sucker for a deal. I really just started for the discount. But every single one of you, your story is unique. Some of you were brides and you got to go to a bridal pampering session and you joined for whatever reason. Maybe it was to help pay for your wedding, or you loved the skincare, or you saw the opportunity. What made you start? And that should be part of your 90-second commercial. Okay. The other thing your 90-second commercial should share is, what have you accomplished so far? And don't get stuck in this. If you feel like you don't have any things to share that you've accomplished, no big deal. Okay. But maybe you're like, you know what? I just got my first promotion to a senior consultant. I've only been in my business for X amount of time. Or I um, I consistently earn my jewelry every single month. In Mary Kay, we get to earn lots of free gifts. Or I just had my largest facial party to date. I sold $800, or whatever that looks like for you. And again, if you don't have something yet, then kind of keep that in the back of your mind, that when you have that accomplishment that you can share, then you should be bragful and boastful about it. Okay. Not to shove it in anybody's face, but again, it's creating that relationship. Or check with your sales director. She can help you. It doesn't necessarily have to be something like just for you. Maybe it's something as a unit you've accomplished. So like, for my girls, they might share, my sales director just, she actually is driving her second free car in Mary Kay. She's been doing her business for 4 years. She's on target to earn her first pink Cadillac by the end of June. Stuff like that, you guys, is okay to share because it's a team effort, right? Or if you're on target to earn your first free car, that's something too that I think is so important to share in your story is, and I think this goes for anything in our lives. If you don't talk about it, it doesn't make it real, if that makes sense what I'm saying. So for example, I share this with you all. I have been wanting a Harley Davidson, no joke, for 16 years. So I didn't do it because I kept putting it off, and I said, okay, not a big deal. You know, I it'll eventually happen for me. It's not a big deal. I'm not even going to stress about it. And then life fast forwarded super quick on me. And here I am, in the middle of my divorce last year. And I'm like, why haven't I done this yet? And so I pulled the trigger. It happened just this year. I took my Harley class, and then I started saying at my facial parties, no joke, since January, I've been saying that. And when I talk about my 90-second commercial, I say I'm not a girly girl, but I share with them that I've been telling people I'm going to buy my first Harley Davidson by the end of June. Well, guess what, you guys? I just bought it 2 weeks ago. So I'm on target. I passed my goal, right? So sharing, it doesn't have to be, maybe something that Mary Kay is going to do for you. So with my Mary Kay business, I'm taking my family on their first vacation, and we're planning on going in August. We're going to go to Disneyland, right? So what it doesn't necessarily mean, it doesn't have to be something Mary Kay's done for you now, but maybe something it's going to do for you in the future. Okay. So make sure, again, work with your sales directors. They can help you with that to create that 90-second commercial, but it should be very personable. Now, it doesn't have to be so personable, you guys. You start talking about your shoe size, your bra size, like you take long walks on the beach if you're single, stuff like that. Not so much, but things that you should be proud of as a woman in your business. business of things that this business has done for you or what you're hoping to accomplish with your business. And again, don't be scared of talking about your goals, you guys. Even if you talk about something, and you're like, oh, I plan on earning my first free car by June. And if you're breathing belief into it, you guys, I promise you the goals happen. But life happens. And let's just say June comes and goes and you don't hit your goal of hitting your car. Guess what? You don't change the goal, you change the due date. Okay. So going into July, you hit your appointments, you say, hey, I'm working on earning my first free car by the end of this year. That's simple, you guys. And it doesn't matter. No one's going to judge you. Trust me. If any of you know my story, it took me 5 tries to become a sales director. 5. I didn't give up. 5 tries. So just know nothing worth in life achieving is ever simple. Okay. The other thing is when you talk about your marketing at the end, be very casual about it. Now, I will tell you this, it can be intimidating. Here's what we tell ourselves, right? I've heard people like, what if they don't want to hear it? I feel like I'm being pushy. What if no one signs? It happens, you guys. I go to parties and no one signs. I go to parties and I've had people look at me. I can tell people that are interested just because I've been doing this for 4 years. And most of us are going to pick up on those vibes too. I can tell when people are interested because they start asking questions. I can tell the people that are interested because like they're watching and paying attention to me and they're nodding with what I'm saying. Now, there are times where you're gonna have people are people, okay? That I've seen people being on their phones when I'm talking about the marketing opportunity. I've had people like get up and walk away during the marketing opportunity. It's okay, you guys, because you're still doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is going over the marketing. And I promise you, nothing goes voided. Nothing, you guys. So please hear my heart when I tell you guys that you should always talk about the marketing opportunity. I have never in my 4.5 years of being in Mary Kay ever not talked about the business opportunity. Now, I can honestly tell you one time only, one time in 4.5 years, I was at a party. They weren't the nicest. Okay, one time in 4.5 years, I still talked about the marketing opportunity. I just kept it very short because I'm like, you know what? I was taught you always talk about it. So I just shortened the version, okay, which I still talked about it, okay? So when I do my marketing, make sure you have a flyer. Visuals are amazing. Again, check with your sales director, check in your unit page. You should have the most recent flyer. There's various ones out there, but the one I use has the $30 e-start, has the $130 option, which includes the starter bag and the e-start, and the $45 sampler add-on. Make sure you understand each one of those. If you don't, work with your sales director, you guys, and she can really help you to understand that flyer. But visuals are great. Again, we get discounts at Office Depot and FedEx. You can go onto Mary Kay and Touch and print out your discount cards. Again, check with your sales director if you don't know where to locate those. We get almost 50% off, you guys, 50% off. Okay, so very important. Print them, have it. Okay, have it, pass it out to your guests. Again, check with your sales director on what they're using. So you can use the placemats that come in your starter kit. If your sales director really uses a different closing sheet, check with your sales director again on what kind of closing sheet she is using. So for me, I have my closing sheet on one side, on the other side is the starter kit, and I laminate them so it's front and back. And then at the end, I pass them out. Okay, that's what I do. Again, check with your sales director, see what they do. So my marketing, I keep it very simple. I explain to them, here's the 2 main ways you can get started. We have a $30 e-start. You get a website where people can shop from you 24/7. We have the $130 starter kit, which not only includes your website, but you get this awesome bag. And I hold up my bag that's filled with over $400 in full-size products and business supplies. Notice I said full-size products, not samples. And then we have a $45 add-on to either the $130 kit or the $30 kit. This $45 sampler add-on is to get samples in the mail so that you can mail it out to your customers for virtual pampering sessions. Now you have up to a year to try out the business. If you don't like it, you can simply stop. You can actually send everything back to Mary Kay. They'll reimburse you 100% of your money. We don't have any monthly fees, annual fees, or monthly quotas, okay? And then I tell them, I'm gonna go over the 5 quick questions that I get asked the most. Here are the 5 quick questions. Number 1, how we make money in Mary Kay. Number 2, what if I don't have time? Number 3, What if I only think about skincare and makeup? Number 4, what's up with the cars? And number 5, why Mary Kay? So those are the 5 questions I break down. How you respond to them is totally up to you. Okay. This is how you want to do your marketing. Now, here is what I say about these questions. Make it personable. It's great if you have your own accolade that you can kind of include in one or a couple of those questions. Or if you don't have a personal accolade, use one of your sales directors or maybe one of your friends that you know in Mary Kay. Okay. You don't have to have an accolade quite yet, but when you do, make sure you sprinkle it in. So this is what I say. Okay. And I've done this before, so this might be a little bit redundant for some of you that have watched some of my other trainings. So the first one, how we make money in Mary Kay. So we buy our products at wholesale, but we sell them at retail. So we make 50% commission off of everything we sell, and that's from day one. So whether I sell $1 or $5,000, we always make 50% commission. What I love with that is we don't have to wait for a commission check from Mary Kay. When a customer pays us, we are getting paid. My largest facial party to date was actually when COVID first started happening last year in March. I quickly started doing virtual pampering sessions. My very first one I ever did lasted about 90 minutes and I sold $1,500. So I made a $750 profit in 90 minutes. The second question I usually get asked is, what if I don't have time? Awesome. You are your own boss. There is no clocking in and out. There's no set hours. There's no mins and maxes. Remember, I said that, no quotas, none of that. So you can work this however little or however much you want, depending on your schedule and your availability and what you're trying to seek from this business. The third question I usually get asked, what if you know anything about skincare and makeup? Awesome. We have tons of training available to you. I'm a sales director in Mary Kay, which means I mentor other women to be successful. So, I am here to do your very first party for you. You get to keep all the sales, but there's lots of training available to you online, and it's free. The other question you usually get asked about the cars. So we have several cars you can earn in Mary Kay. The first one is a Malibu, and you can actually earn one as a part-time consultant. I got to drive that one for 2 years. It used to be a Chevy Cruze. Now it's a Malibu. About 8 months ago, I got to upgrade to our second level car, which is an Equinox. The third level car, we have a choice between the Camaro, Chevy Colorado truck, or the Chevy Traverse. Personally speaking, I would choose the Camaro, but I have a speeding problem, so probably not ideal. And then our top car is the pink Cadillac SUV and the pink Cadillac Escalade you earn as a national. You don't have to choose a car. You can choose cash instead. So for the Malibu, it would be $425 they put right into your bank account. All the way up to the Escalade would be $1,600 they put into your bank account every single month. Now you don't have to choose a car, you can choose cash instead. So for the Malibu would be $425 they put right into your bank account. Like I mentioned, oh, I'm being redundant, see? So once you talk about the cash options, see, I mess up to you guys, and I'm glad I did this. So if that happens, don't get flustered and be like, I'll make a joke. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, before at parties, I've said to them, I'm like, I promise, I know it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I haven't been drinking yet. I'll crack a joke, or I'll be like, whoo, probably should have gotten more sleep last night. Let me back that up. So once you talk about the cash, then I tell them, you can choose the cash, but I tell people take the car instead because they pay for your tax, your title, your registration, and you and your spouse's car insurance up to 85%. So it truly is a free car. I've had no car payments in 3 years. And the last question, why Mary Kay? So there are tons of direct selling businesses out there. I'm not here to bash any of them. I've never done another one. Mary Kay's been the only one I've ever done. But with Mary Kay, again, you make the most amount of commission, 50% commission off of everything you sell. And I share a little bit about my story that I experienced last year, what Mary Kay's done for me. So I share with them. I'm going to get a little personal with you guys. So 2020 was a horrible year for me. In August, my life came crashing down. On top of losing my father to cancer, my husband and I separated and decided to file for divorce, and I became homeless all in 1 month. And if it had not been for my Mary Kay friends and sisters and family in Mary Kay, I don't know where I would be. Not only did several of them open up my home to be able to sleep in their spare bedroom, sleep on sofas, they brought me meals. Even some of my consultants offer to do parties on my behalf and give me the profit to help me out. I just don't know where I would be. I never had that sort of camaraderie and support with a corporate job. And that's what I do. And then what I tell them to do, you guys, if it's an in-home, I tell them their customer profile cards, flip it over on the bottom in that pink section where it says consultants only, we're going to be rebels. We're going to fill that in. I want you to put the letters A, B, and C, however big, however small, just somewhere in there, A, B, and C. I'm going to explain what the letters mean to you. You're going to circle the letter best pertains to how you're feeling. Please hear my heart. There's no right or wrong answers. Don't look at your neighbor unless they pay your bills. You're going to circle the letter C if you're like, I have zero interest in doing anything with Mary Kay. I would rather support you as a customer, whether that stay tomorrow in the future, and I'm okay paying full price for my products. So C is you want to remain a customer. B is I wasn't expecting to, but something you said about this business opportunity has piqued my interest. I have some questions. We can schedule a quick phone call to answer your questions, or we can take you out to coffee. And A is, oh my gosh, I can start my business for $30, shut the front door, and want to try this out. Sign me up today. So you're going to circle the letter, okay? Then what you're going to do is when you do individual consultations, okay? If they're C, you guys, sometimes I'll just ask them, hey, especially if I think they're sharp, this is where it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of training, okay? So check with your sales director. We don't expect you to do this right away, okay? As you build your confidence, if you see a sharp woman, especially if they have a lot of contacts, I'll just ask them, hey, I'm just curious. You seem really sharp. And I love working with awesome, amazing women like yourself. I notice you have a lot of contacts. And I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool reaching out to your referrals. But what made you circle C? What about the opportunity kind of you're like, nah? And I'll kind of talk to them. If they're still really sharp, you guys just all ask them, like, especially if you're new in your business, hey, I'm okay the fact that you circled C, but here's what I'd like to ask of you if you're okay with it. I'm really new in my business and I need all the training I get, and someone as sharp and intelligent as you, I could really use that training. When do you have a quick 15 minutes within the next day or two that I can schedule for you with a quick phone call with my mentor? And it's with myself. She's just going to ask you a series of questions, not to pressure you, but again, to help me with my training. Okay. And see what she says. Most of the time, people are willing to lend 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. If you invest in some inventory, you happen to have like the little mini deluxe samples. If you really want to get them on the phone call and they're being hesitant, offer something for free. Maybe you can tell them that you're doing a monthly drawing for a free mascara or something. And as you do your training calls, you pick somebody out randomly from the people that have done the calls with you. Okay. If they circled B, check with your sales director, okay? If they have a virtual calendar, you should be able to pull up their calendar. If they don't, I know on my girls, I'm still trying to figure out the virtual calendar, okay? My girls know, just book them for a phone call. Do not take the time and try to box your sales director. Hey, what's your availability? Or if you know you're going into an appointment, you guys check with your sales director. Hey, I have an appointment scheduled today. In case I have anybody that needs to book a call, what is your availability for the next 2 to 3 days? The goal, you guys, is having a sense of urgency. So you want to get people booked within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, 24 to 48 hours, not a week, not 2 weeks. So if you have a party today, you want to be booking them for a phone call Monday or Tuesday. Oh, today's not Monday. I'm sorry. Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. Don't wait a week. Okay. Now I've had people, oh, well, I'm really busy. Okay. I respect that, but I can do a phone call as early as you need to or as late as you need to. You want to make sure, most important thing, that it matches with your schedule, because you should be on the phone call. Okay. It's easier to reschedule someone when they've committed to a date and time versus to try to get them to actually book a date and time, if that makes sense. Okay. And then A, if they circled A, do not book them for a call. Bring up the beauty agreement. So when you're doing individual consultation, again, work with your sales director. There should be a couple of questions you're asking, like, what are you currently using for your skincare? That's a whole nother training thing, but there's closing questions you should be asking, okay, during the individual consultation. Once you're done wrapping up the sale, okay, even if they circled A, you guys, this is the biggest advice I can give you. Don't walk away from the sale. Okay. Just because they circled A, don't just let everything out the door and just bring up the beauty agreement. Girl, go ahead and fill this out. No. Go through the questions about the skincare, see what she wants to purchase from you. Because even if she's going to be a consultant, get the sale, you guys, because here's the reason for it. Number one, if she decides not to do anything with the business, she's going to remain your customer. Okay. And number two, she needs some products and you deserve the sale. Okay. So once you're finished closing her out, then you say, okay, I see you circled A here. Did you want to do the $30? Did you want to do the $130? And then use her phone. This is important. Don't do it on your phone. Use her phone, bring up the beauty agreement, have her start filling it out. That way, if you have other people to close out, you're not stuck now. You can continue closing out individuals. Okay. So they circled A. Don't book them for a phone call, okay? And then make sure you let them know once they've signed that your sales director will be reaching out to them within 24 to 48 hours to set up their welcome appointment. Okay, that's our responsibility. Now, if it's a virtual, I do the same thing, but I have them text me either C, B, or A. Okay, and then based on what they texted me with when I'm doing individual consultations virtually, then I have a different discussion with them. Same discussion you have in person is the same exact as a virtual. Now, training calls. Very important, you guys. If you notice the theme that I keep saying, use your sales director. Your sales director is not only your mentor and your coach, but you essentially are getting a business coach. Okay. You guys know anything about business coaches? They're not cheap. And you guys get us for free. So it drives me nuts that I sound like a broken record all the time when I tell people use your sales directors. Use them. That's what we're here for. Okay. So if you, even if it's someone, friends, family, this is the cool thing with this business, you guys, we can work with whoever we want to. So if you have some friends and family, you're like, oh my gosh, Susie Q would be so good at this. She just recently lost her job. She's a stay-at-home mom. She's been complaining she wants to earn some income. Book her for a phone call, you guys. You're not being the stalker Mary Kay ladies. You're being real and you're sharing the opportunity. Now, here's why it's important, you guys. Why it's so important to share the opportunity. Number one, a closed mouth is not a fed mouth. And again, you don't know who needs this sort of opportunity in their lives. Okay, so it's very important, you guys, to make sure that you're sharing this opportunity. Number two, we already know this is the second way you can make extra money in Mary Kay is by team building. Okay, it's not a bad thing. I've heard people, I don't want to make money off somebody. But you guys, it's really just sharing the opportunity because you share the opportunity. Mary Kay wants to bless you with some extra income because you share the opportunity with someone. So it doesn't matter, you guys, if you don't want to be a sales director, but if you're not sharing the opportunity, that's insane to me because it's extra income. If you want to know how the commission works on the extra income, talk to your sales director. And I'm going to share this is what I've told many of my girls in my unit. The only difference between a sales director and a beauty consultant is we make more money. That's it. We're still seeing the faces. Okay. We're still team building. Okay. We just make more money. That's it. That's the only difference. The only difference. And we get extra perks, which are awesome. Okay. So I hope something I said tonight helps you guys. The biggest thing, I told this to a consultant today, and I'm sure she's going to watch this and she's going to get the biggest smile. Okay. Because she's awesome. I got to spend time with her. You attract what your confidence level is. So if you go in and you're like super shy and your self-esteem is super low, guess what you're going to attract? Super low confidence, super low self-esteem individuals. And it's not always a bad thing, you guys, because a lot of people need something like this in their lives, okay? But if you're wondering why you're not recruiting, check yourself before you wreck yourself. No, check yourself, okay? Because I've been there. You know, I was in a massive slump last year because of everything I went through in life. And I wasn't recruiting real well because I just was blah, right? So when you're in a blah state, that's kind of what you're going to recruit. When you're in a confident state of mind and you're happy and you're passionate and you're really enjoying what you're doing, people see that and that's what you're going to attract. So remember that before you go into an appointment. There's been times, you guys, where I have a horrible conversation with my mom. It's happened to me. And I have to like take some deep breaths and I have to release it. And I say, all right, God, bless me the way I need to with these individuals today that I'm going to go in and meet. And please allow me to gain whatever insight that I need to from this party today, whether it's in the form of sales, team members, or just a really good time. And that's what I do, you guys. Go in with no expectations. Don't go in expecting to make a certain amount of money. Don't go in expecting to recruit a certain amount of team members. Go in and pretend every single one of those women are wearing a sign around their neck that says, make me feel special. And I shared this really quickly with you guys. And I'm going to go off on a slight tangent. Okay. This happened to me yesterday. And I shared this with a consultant today. We all get in a slump, even myself. I promise you, yesterday, I did not want to go to my appointment. Sometimes I do get a little anxiety, okay? And it sometimes makes me a hermit in my house. It's something I'm working through, okay? And I literally flipped a quarter. I flipped a quarter, you guys, whether to go to my appointment or not. And that saddens me because I should never feel that way. And I literally did. And I said, okay, I'm going to go because I'm a woman of my word and my promises, and I need to go. So I did. I showed up. I walked in the house. I'm not going to lie. Wasn't real cool. Like the vibe in the house, I was just like, oh, there's something off. And started setting up. It was supposed to be 5 ladies. Ended up only being 2. We started 30 minutes late. So I was already a little irked by that. And I said, okay, I'm going to release it. I'm going to show these 2 ladies the best time ever. And I'm going to leave everything else at the door. Okay. So I did. Showed both these ladies an amazing time. You know what ended up happening, you guys? 2 women sold $400. And the one lady that was there, we started talking about a nonprofit. She started one 7 years ago. She was very interested because of our Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation. She asked if we do anything nonprofit. And I said, I've done, and I explained to her some of the stuff I've done for nonprofits. Like I've done makeup for a domestic shelter for Valentine's Day. She asked if I did anything geared towards men. And I said, I absolutely could. Her nonprofit she started, you guys, is to address domestic violence with men. 1 in 7 men experience domestic violence. And her son was killed 9 years ago by his wife. Okay. So my message is you never know who you're going to come across. And that comes in the form of team members too. So remember who you're not sharing the opportunity with that's looking for something like this to bless their lives. Okay. Either small or big. I hope this was insightful to you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. If you're watching this, it's month end, and you should end it super strong. Going into June, you guys, go in with a new mindset with team building because it truly could change someone's lives. I love you all. Hope you have an amazing rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.